In the late 1970s and early 1980s, video games had reached an unprecedented soar in popularity.
Here, compare for yourself. In television, space games from Mattel Electronics. Once you compare, you'll know.
Video game consoles, such as the Atari 2600, and in television, dominated the market.
The best way to play is without cartridges on Play Cable. For less than half the price of one game, you get 20 great games a month, over $500 worth. And you can play any game, anytime, 24 hours a day.
Over in Japan, on June the 1st, 1977, Nintendo released the Color TV Game 6. This was Nintendo's first attempt of entering the video game market. The small success of the Color TV Game 6 inspired the next big thing. On July the 15th, 1983, Nintendo released the Japanese gaming console, Famicom. Prior to the release of the Nintendo Famicom, manufacturer known as Sega had took notice. Sega, at the time, manufactured arcade gaming cabinets.
So, a creature for my amusement, prepare for battle!
On the same exact day the Famicom released in Japan, Sega did the unthinkable and released the SG-1000. Sega!
Sega video game SG-1000.
The epic war between Sega and Nintendo has begun. By 1983, Nintendo was very interested in bringing their console to the rest of the world. Nintendo had begun negotiations with Atari in order to release the Famicom outside of Japan. However, at the CES Electronics Show in 1983, Atari took notice of the ColecoVision.
Games like Donkey Kong Jr., Looping, Pepper 2, Time Pilot, Mr. Do, Space Fury, Frontline, arcade controls like Turbo, the Roller Controller, and new Super Action Sports.
What caught Atari's attention was the game playing on the ColecoVision, Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong, a Nintendo game, caused Atari to back out of negotiations with Nintendo. By 1984, the popularity of video games in North America had begun to lose popularity.
And have men and women and sex, sometimes violent sex. This one, called Custer's Revenge, features a nude General Custer fighting his way past Indian arrows. You score the big points in this game by getting the general to rape an Indian woman tied to a stake.
Widely known as the video game crash of '84, it appeared that video gamers gave up on home consoles. In 1984, Nintendo brought more interest in introducing a gaming console to North America. A year later, by October 1985, Nintendo released the Nintendo Entertainment System to the masses. The Nintendo Entertainment System featured a 1.79 MHz processor, as well as 16 kilobit of RAM. It also was capable of producing a resolution of 256 by 240, with 25 colours on screen. Prior to the release of the Nintendo Entertainment System, Sega had eyes on North America as well. Sega had begun to restyle the Mark III and rebrand it the Sega Master System.
This Christmas you can buy another toy. Or you can buy this, the Sega Master System of Entertainment, with super sensitive control pads and a pinpoint accurate light phaser that even registers misses. The unique Sega card with 256K memory and even more. Our mega cartridge with an unbelievable 4 times more power than most cartridges. It's a future of excitement. The Sega Master System of Interactive Video Entertainment.
Only one competitor can be the Master, and Sega made that very clear. By the end of 1986, a year after the Nintendo Entertainment System release, the Master System arrives in North America. The war begins. The Master System contains a 3.5 MHz processor, in comparison to Nintendo's 1.79 MHz processor. The Master System also has 64 kilobits of RAM, dominating Nintendo's 16 kilobits of RAM. Nintendo's console was capable of displaying 25 colours on screen, while the Master System produced 32 colours on screen. The Sega Master System resolution was capable of producing 256 by 192. In comparison to Nintendo's 256 by 240. On the Nintendo Entertainment System, cartridges were inserted into the front of the console through a door opening. On the Sega Master System, cartridges were plugged into the top of the console. Quite often, the Master System was more stable than the Nintendo Entertainment System, due to the flaws of the Nintendo console. The controllers of both consoles are very similar, for the exception of the direction pad. Many agree Nintendo's controller may have been a bit more comfortable to use. Unlike controllers, the cartridges did not look similar. The Sega Master System cartridges were short, and featured basic graphics on the labels, while the Nintendo cartridges were tall and featured more detailed graphics on the labels. This is a sample of what the Master System's audio sounds like. This is a sample of what Nintendo's audio sounds like. You can see the many graphical differences featured on Gaming Palooza's Versus series. The Master System sold a total of 13 million worldwide, with over 300 games released on the console. The Nintendo Entertainment System sold a total of 61 million worldwide, with over 700 games released on the console. By the end of 1995, the Nintendo Entertainment System was discontinued. However, the Sega Master System still exists in Brazil over 30 years after release,